Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Minna Crichton. I'm the narrator of this video clip and all other video clips on my YouTube channel and on Facebook page. So today I will be just doing the usual, an introduction, just to get you into the mindset of where I'm coming from, and then some more evidence of in the moment situation, in reference to what I'm going through personally. Also, evidence of proof of intimate. Illegal intimacy as far as my set of circumstances and other people micromanaging me, whether I don't know who, because it is a conspiracy system involving myself, and I'm just like in the moment just dealing with issues as they happen, putting the incidents, factual incidents in the moment in writing, and then submitting them to the body corporates involving my personal property, meaning anything to do with me as being a client to them, anything to do with my identity, entity, ideas, and my intellectual property, in this case my court cases, anything and everything to do with my life, or that is considered as tangible property of the person and the existence of the person's in documentation or in whatever that may be. So as far as, like, for example, my YouTube channel is my property, and so is my Facebook page because I'm the author of it. So basically that is what I'm doing. So today I will just do the usual, doing an introduction using graphic designs. From my point of view, I'm actually the victim of crimes. I'm also the plaintiff, the prosecutor, also paralegal. I self-representing my case in the High Court and in the criminal jurisdiction. So I've been going through quite a bit, and I'm trying to keep the evidence in the moment, because the evidence that I'm going through in the moment is discrimination, setback, intentional setback, obviously. So my case is a very serious case of human trafficking in persons. Okay, so we're dealing with after the facts, and accessory, like anybody that, any corporate bodies involving my personal property, if they've deleted it. There's a clear pattern involving me where people have used me and then they switch, but they're actually secretly stealing. It's an illegal force, or people operating, micromanaging by the misuse of devices, whether it's by espionage and just unlawful monitoring. So this is my set of circumstances in the moment, and we're dealing with after the fact, or at the moment I'm dealing things in the moment also. So keeping everything on my YouTube channel real. It is a real life court case, and me actually doing everything myself personally. Okay, so I'm the kind of individual. My personality is, I am a homebody. I'm a private person. I'm a straight person. I'm one of these people. Maybe boring to some people, because I like to, the things I talk about may be boring, but they're actually very real, serious, and actually relevant to this generation. But it is definitely a conspiracy. It is a private person being secretly exploited by breaches. Eventually breaches take over, and then we have home invasion. Okay, so this is what I've been subject to historically. It's really easy for me to undo, and that is my intention, is actually to undo everything eventually in the criminal jurisdiction using the new process of this new world order. Okay, so it is a global game. It's very dangerous. We're dealing with agencies, secret agencies operating behind the scene or making decisions. We can't see them, but we know that they are monitoring us and us using other people to stalk us or follow us. So this is my personal experience since I was working for my employer. So there are several co-offenders in my case, and it's definitely a Crimes Act 1961, and also it's a category 4 in the new age system at the moment. But this here describes exactly what I've gone through. It's like being sandwiched by being in a sandwich or in between a sandwich with several perpetrators glued. Okay, the danger about it is there are several perpetrators and you don't know who it is. The kind of things like it's your word against theirs, yet you know in your heart something's not right. Sometimes some of the things that do take place happens after the fact, and you can end up feeling let down, isolated, and be in a situation where it's not good, like it's inhumane, and everything just change. Like 1 minute everything's fine, next minute you feel isolated, but what has actually happened, little do you know, is that somebody's actually trafficked you without you knowing. Sorry, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just like overwhelmed by everything that I'm going through, but that personal experience, it's not a good situation to be in. It's life-threatening. And it is serious violent offences. So what you need to do is to be able to prove that my case or your case is serious violent offences. So you need to do what I'm doing and keep consistency of in the moment evidence. What I have also found is that they have tampered with evidence, or they have deleted evidence, or they've committed the crime and leave the crime scene, leave the country, go overseas, but they are coding people, which makes it even more difficult and very dangerous for anyone. And then they're using their own people globally, and they're all operating together just by coding. And then you'll find that people are actually coming out in public because they're actually moved by the coding. So what you're dealing with in the moment is the temperature, or measured by the hostility, or how you've been treated, whether you've been lied to, or people are not being honest, or not giving you the correct information, or being helpful, or they can easily just lie to you and lure you to their next planned, schemed plot. Okay, so that's the danger about it. And if you're being twinned, they will switch. Switching as of switching everything, your life, anything monetary, that is their motive and intent, versus you being the actual original. Okay, so unfortunately my reality is I have been eventually, after full contamination of people digging up my past, and so many people in on the game, secretly stealing, pinned down kind of a situation. Eventually, all the good people is overridden by those that are out to actually eliminate the person for obvious reasons, and then you end up getting a hate alliance that's very dangerous. So we're dealing with malice, people with evil intent. We're dealing with people doing wrongful acts, or it's malicious, intentional harm, and then they reach their whole idea is to destroy your reputation and your good character, and also to ruin you financially. With the whole idea is to keep good people from taking any interest on you. So we're dealing with very serious hate crimes, or heinous hate crimes, and it's quite horrific is the word I'd use. Okay, so we're dealing with a very, very, very spiritually, it is a hate alliance. It is deadly, and they will go to the extent of making a car accident look like a car accident when it's not. They could also lie to you and misdiagnose you. They can lie to you with what you got, and you know that that's not right. So I recommend always get a second opinion or a third if you can afford it. Other things that they will do is they will poison you, poison your food. The thing is, there's clear evidence in my case that that's happened. There's a sequence of it. There's a periodic, incidents. There's clear evidence that I'm a victim of crimes and that people have definitely used me for money laundering and actually has tried to murder me. So it is quite serious case. If I didn't make it, those involved would be charged with culpable homicide, or depending on whatever the incidents that I end up not making it. So this is, I'll just go with it in the moment. Unfortunately, it does link to all my court cases and the government and the unlawful strikes that I'm contesting, and I'm still at it at the moment. Okay. So over time, for the individual or even maybe a group of people that is specifically targeted, you may not be aware, things kind of happen cunningly and subtly. You're not sure, but you just know something's not right. It's very likely that you are being targeted by secret societies, and if the police aren't interacting, that's not a good sign either. These days they actually are dependent on lawyers to take over, and deal with the situation. But not everybody in the community, not everybody in New Zealand can afford a lawyer. In New Zealand, we are allowed to represent ourselves. You don't have to have a law degree. I don't have a law degree, but I am qualified with my personal experience to represent myself. But in saying that, you don't have to be qualified. You still have the right to represent yourself in a fair court, whether to defend yourself or defend your property. So that is what I'm up against. Okay, so this is my personal experience as a human being. Okay, all these things have definitely taken place, and it's inhumane. Okay, it's inhumane. It's illegal. But this poster is exactly what everyone, the illegal scientific experiment, the personal vendetta, the animation, the twinning, the switching, the abuse, you name it, it is illegal. So the reality is, I have been glued to my competitor. They've just taken turns historically to use me, using different people all the time. The whole idea of the game is to exhaust the person or the original to give up, to commit suicide, or if they can, they will definitely set up a way to actually murder you without them getting caught. So anything is possible. So we're dealing with, the original is being treated invisible versus the substitute. It's illegal, okay? But I'm fighting back, telling my story, or exposing the opposing allies and the things that happen to me in the moment, because we're dealing with in the moment psychological and mental abuse. We're talking about psychopathic crimes and offences, people who are actually mentally ill, people who may have, fetish inclinations, because that is true. That's what you call serious mental health. People do get a fetish, like feeding off other people's pain and suffering. Okay, so these people are very, very dangerous people if they're operating behind the scene and operating through their employers or employees. Okay, so we're dealing with people who doesn't like confrontation, are a law to their own, and they're actually using the hub desk or using inexperienced people beneath them to do their work, expecting nothing to happen or backfire on them. And then they've also, once that your privacy is gone, they're using your family too as like a protection to protect them. So it's not a very good situation for the original that's actually trapped in the situation. Okay, as per usual, I'm denouncing the public, deception by Natalie Vasquiso and her imposter boyfriend Henry Cavill. And also this female here, and I know it's working, okay, because I'm setting boundaries, and Henry and I both agree that I would be the mouthpiece to do this. Well, the reason why I'm doing it is because of my court case, and also for him is like a protection, also for him and myself. So I'm denouncing Natalie Vasquiso and her latest tactic on social media. Even though it's Google, it's still fraud. Okay, in the legal world of sensible people, that's a conspiracy tactic by her. Henry has not consented to her to do any of that. As far as I can confirm also that he is not on any social media. He is not on Facebook. He is not on TikTok. He's not communicating with anyone else outside his bubble other than me. Okay, we both know our situation is a life and death situation, and we've both just had to we've had this spiritual journey where we're just totally just relying on God. I know that they're watching me, and secretly I know that the opposing allies are keeping tabs on both of us, so it hasn't been a safe journey, but at this point in time, nothing has changed. So we are denouncing Natalie Vasquiso and her gang group, and it's linking also to my court cases. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so obviously she's like on Google, and I don't care. Okay, this is fraud information. Okay, he is not with her. I'm telling you guys, he is not with her. He has no intentions of being with her. He has not confirmed that is his child as far as the DNA is concerned. They have not communicated since he got sick. I think only one time she did make contact with him, but he didn't want anything to do with him because he was actually sick. He was sick for almost a year. And he's definitely doing really well now, almost recovering quite well, but he's not having anything to do with anyone public. He's not happy with what she is doing right now. He's not happy about the deception and the lies. So I'm denouncing that. I don't care if it's Google or what, but that is fraud, especially when the original is actually fighting for his own life, trying to, have a normal life. But he's been sabotaged. And that goes for me too, being the original historically and having different people using me secretly, living my life, stealing my character, stealing anything monetary wise and using me for a pecuniary advantage. So I'm sorry, I don't care if you're an actor or whatever your culture is, that is fraud. Henry does have the intention of dealing everything properly legally when at the right time, but he's doing okay. He condones, he agrees that I'm doing. He just said to me, keep denouncing the deception, and that is what I'm doing. I'm denouncing this female. Okay, everything that I've written about her, it is true. It is true. There are ways of making a criminal case become real. So we're denouncing that, and I'm doing that today. I mean, this is the Hollywood lifestyle, guys, but this is fraud. Okay. All I can do is just go with what I'm going with our journey. Okay, nothing has changed. The real Henry Cavill he's not working. He's not even with her. He is not I can't say too much because I'm protecting our privacy, but he does want me to denounce anything public, and in the right time, I'm sure we'll all find out who is telling the truth. But that is very serious in the real world of sensible people. I mean, she's not even acting. Okay, he's not happy. Like, even the baby, he doesn't even know if the baby's a boy or a girl. He doesn't want to know at this point in time. And anything that I've written about her, I've written it because that is the truth from what he has told me, and also for the purpose of a criminal case. So I've just kind of like just keep up to date with what's going on with Google myself, because what Natalie is doing, it's affecting, it's endangering a life. It's endangering my life, her lies, and what the Google was saying about her. And they're talking about Henry's worth as far, they're trying to make out he's actively out there globally, but he's not. He's not working. He's not mixing with anyone. He's very private. He's not even, he's very selective. He's just, he's healing, and he's actually doing really well. But he is not even seeing any secret female at all. He's not talking to anybody publicly. That's about all I can say. So all this going on, this is not the real him. Okay. And it is part of the super rich people's will to do what they're doing. They do have doubles, to deceive, they get people to work, and so then they can still have a private life. But at this point in time, Henry doesn't consent to any of this. So you're all being deceived. But I've had to expose what I'm going through because people are sabotaging me. Okay, everyone's sabotaging me in order for these people who are, obviously living off somebody else's life without their consent. It's fraud. Okay, so some of the things that I have actually gone through personally, all kinds of laws have been broken. Okay, so with all the situation that I'm going through, it does link to Henry Cavill. Okay, the reason behind everything I'm going, it is definitely linked with him and I just having a private life. Okay, we're both very mature. He's grown, he's changed, he's not the same person like he used to be. But what I have found, people definitely have been sabotaging me. Okay, they've made my life a living hell, intentionally. Okay, discrimination, all because of the secret societies, to do with money laundering and reputation, and people claiming that they are with Henry when they're not. Okay, so I've had to put in a few complaints with the Ministry of Social Development. What I've gone through historically is nothing, it's no difference to what I've went through since 2010 in my profile, where people are lying to me, blocking me, giving me wrong information, and just making things so difficult, so inhumane. This is consistent with when I actually go into the department. I can sense the hostile alliance. People act calmly, but I know that they are actually on behalf of these people, like, whoever these women are, they are, they're using their jobs. Okay, they're sabotaging our person in order to steal or to keep me from not being able to financially advance. And then we all know, everybody knows about my court case. It's another reason why they're sabotaging me, because of my court cases and how much it's worth. So I had to write another police and do a timeline of how I've been treated. all the people. As you can see, that's the timeline of everyone that I'm talking to. What I find really frustrating is that they're telling me different things every single time, and it does get tiring and exhausting to repeat everything every single time. So on this particular day, with my application with work and income, I actually came under the threshold of serious, I needed help with an emergency home because my landlord sold the property. And I was running out of time, and work and income helped me with an emergency home. I've already spoken this on the last video clip. And then the guy cancelled, I think a week before. Okay, and I had a reasonable belief that was intentional, so I wasn't happy about that. Also, then they said they found one, and then I didn't take it because when I read the documentations, I felt that what I have found personally, that they've been so intimate with what I'm going through. They get me into, they're watching my emotions. They're watching everything I'm doing. They try and kill my confidence to get me into a mood where I'm depressed. Okay, so they've attacked me so personally to hurt me. And then it's like they're kicking down the person to keep them down. Obviously, they're jealous. They have a superior problem. Okay, so they're trying to, destroy a person's confidence. So it's actually culpable homicide. If I don't make it, if I die from my high blood pressure or heart attack, or if somebody murders me, it is definitely body corporate crime. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing in the moment. It's a guaranteed criminal case. And I have found that they're lying, okay, and they're making up their own laws. But when work and income actually found me an emergency house, everything seemed fine until I actually read the documents, and I felt that they were taking advantage of a vulnerable person. With my situation being so difficult, I could have ended up not having a roof over my head, but I just didn't feel safe. Then when I read the documents, and it was like signing a power of attorney, and I definitely wasn't going to sign it. That was the reason why I decided not to take it, because of the trickery and the deception with the documents. Okay, so I'll just go onto the law that actually confirms what they did. Okay, so they were actually trying to make, because the other thing I found, like I said, I had to make a police report. I had hacking problems. Okay, this is consistent, it's happened before, where my documents, my documents for my court cases just disappeared. Well, nothing just disappears, but that's how intimate the opposing allies are. Okay, and they are sabotaging me for the sake of, to help Crown win. So in this case, the Crown is the defendant. They're not the victims, they are the defendant. Okay, so in the moment, while I'm going to, trying to go forward, I'm doing everything human possible to go forward. There's no reason for me not to work. There's no reason for my court case not to finish, but it's because I'm glued. Okay, it's the gluing. They've used me for illegal scientific experiment, stealing my intellectual property, and it's consistent with the abuse. Okay, it's pretty cruel. All right, there's enough evidence there to prove conspiracy to commit murder, and like I said, a culpable homicide cases if I don't make it. Okay, and I've also found documentations where they've stolen my documents and then they've actually republished them. So if you don't know what that is, somebody has actually republished or done something to change. They've retyped, they've used the government letterhead, and then they've planted it back into my laptop. Okay, there's evidence. I'm going to be sitting with a lawyer, or I may not have to, but we'll see. We'll just go with it. because, everyone knows that there's a court hearing coming up soon with Independent Police Code of Conduct Authority. So I've got it's IPCA, it is. It's the same case they're jointly charged. Okay, it's the same, New Zealand Police is the same evidence, so there's no difference. So these kind of things I have found in the moment with all my court cases, 10 years imprisonment. And yes, people have definitely stolen off me, tax invasion, okay, using my identity, pinning me down. And I have a reasonable belief also that they've done what Natalie Vasquiso's doing, living off somebody else's life with an imposter man, with the intention for fame and blah, 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 to steal. Okay, that's wrong. As you all know, I told you somebody did try to kill him, but when he got sick. But he has not had anything to do with Natalie. That's all I can say. And he said, just denounce everything, just keep doing it. And I have to do it for the sake of the honest people watching over me. And just going with it, because it is global, but it's no different to what I went through when it's going back to 2010. No different at all. All I can say is I'm very blessed and lucky I'm alive today to even talk about it. Okay, guys, so according to the law, I am considered a vulnerable adult. That is the truth. So is Henry Cavill. He would be considered as a vulnerable adult. Even if you work for the government, if you're an honest person minding your own business, while I was working for the government, I was still a vulnerable adult, even though I was in a prominent job. You become a defendant if you commit offences. So that's where I'm at, okay? So according to the law, I'm the victim, okay? So in this matter, people are definitely victimizing me. Okay, it's personal vendetta, it's inhumane, and shame on all of yous who participate with no conscience. I mean, you're just a bunch of hypocrites. Okay, so the other thing that I have found, I've made submissions to work and income. Whatever happens in the future, that's out of my control because I know how the criminal jurisdiction operates. So you could always be charged in the future with everything I'm going through. But I was upset also with evidence. There was evidence there where somebody from Australia had contacted us to contact them. That's evidence of treason, okay? The manager said that none of my documents have gone over there, but I said, yeah, well, they're contacting me from Australia. That's treason. That's still treason. Can you prove it? Yes, okay? So treason is 7 years imprisonment. I can prove it. Believe you me, there's a way around everything when it comes to proving something. Okay, so the other thing I found a real problem with these other stakeholders, like it was with Vision West, and the other one I think it was Grace Foundation. So what I found is WINS is recommending their clients, me being the client at this point in time. And then those people are making me fill out forms with the WINS letterhead. I mean, what is the point? WINS might as well tell them everything, because what is the point? They're making me, okay, a vulnerable person. Like if I wasn't, if I didn't know my rights, I'd say they've just taken advantage of a vulnerable person. In fact, that is what I said in one of my court cases that I had to the judge, that I felt that the Crown was taking advantage of me. Okay? And that is the truth, unfortunately. But this law here clearly says that, that to disclose personal information, it's illegal. It's 7 years imprisonment. Okay, and only that I felt that they were taking advantage of me as a vulnerable person. Now, say if I had a lawyer there, they wouldn't even try to trick me, because I felt that they were trying to trick me while I was in a very vulnerable situation. I'd been looking for a place to go and, and then I've had all my court cases, and I'm an independent female, and I'm used to it. Even though I've got loving family who would, support me if I went to them, but it's not my family's responsibility to actually look after me. I should be able to use the government system because it's my right to. And also I have found that some of the decisions are based on cultural beliefs, okay? People are declining because of their cultural beliefs, or just because they think, this should be, sorry, but according to the laws is what these people will be made accountable for, okay? Because your cultural beliefs, your bias, racist, or whatever decisions you make, do not come, when it comes to the laws in the courts, okay? I've always, I'd say because of my background, I'm more like a European kind of a way of thinking. I'm super independent. I don't feel my family or anyone close to me, why should they pay for me? You know what I'm saying? Because they shouldn't have to. That's why we have, these tax, things that we are entitled to as a New Zealand citizen. And that's where I'm coming at. Okay, so but I have found other cultures, or other race, they're making decisions based on emotions. That's got nothing to do with it. And that is not how you treat people. But the law that you're talking about, people's liberty, people's well-being, people's safety, that overrides everything. Yeah. Anyway, I did get that situation sorted today. I've heard, because on this day I was really upset, okay, because they gave me, first I went there to the appointment on time, and I didn't get to see, I didn't get seen until like half an hour later, but I actually went early before the actual appointment. Everyone knows I'm an early person. But I felt the rejection and the way I was treated to be discriminated by the opposing allies, and then they make me listen, and they do their indirect, letting me know who they're supporting or why they're pissed off with me. So these are the kind of things that I'm subject to. It's so personal and intimate. It's illegal. I've known it's been Katie, or they'll say Katie's, they'll say people's name. In fact, I just need to sit down with a lawyer, go over the cameras and point out their, indirect alliances or messages referring to me, knowing I'm sitting there listening. Okay, so by the time I got seen on this day, only to be told by the guy that saw me, hang on a moment. Okay, I just had to go and find out the guy's name. The guy's name was Easton. Okay, so what I'm finding, their threats are in the moment. They're using names of people that sounds like somebody that they're threatening. Okay, they're in my space. The threats is in the conversation in my space. Okay, that's a sign that they are glued to all my immediate family, obviously, since 2010. I mean, while I was working for my employer, they were threatening, making all those threats, and it was just a situation I've had to totally trust God, because I knew the gangs were involved, the ISIS, or it's definitely gang related, what I was being subject to. And it was just one of those things, my word against theirs. So the threats are in the moment. And even though I lay complaints with the police are not, they're only giving me their first name. Sometimes they want to give just a number. But that's a clear sign that they know that there's something very, for people to work for the government, and then they're too scared to even just to give out their name. and then try and be private. I mean, that is not why we have a government system for. So that's a sign. If they're scared, what safety do the public have? If you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so that is what happened on this day. I ended up getting upset because he was, he's just repeating everything. They're making me repeat. And then, he was asking me questions that I'd already answered. And even the people on the email, they are, I'm repeating. And it's different people all the time. So it is definitely intentional crimes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of penalty there, a lot of privacy breaches and abuse. So I ended up raising my voice and I nearly burst into tears because I was overwhelmed and stressed. I felt interrogated. They were questioning things, and even with the CPU, they were asking like, work and income case officer will tell me one thing, and then the call center and those who use the hub desk will tell me another thing. Okay, and then they're telling us to do things, and then the clients aren't happy because it's their privacy. And me knowing the laws like I do, I've sent them the laws that they're broken, and then I've asked them to send me the laws to support what they're telling me to do. Okay, so they're thinking, okay, hang on, we're doing you a favor, we can decline you. But in reality, their job is the well-being, to protect the well-being of the client. It's not their money. Okay, just because they work for work and income, according to the law, it is not their money, but that's what they're doing. It's all about power and abuse. But I am a targeted victim, and this is the same old scenario with everybody else since 2010. And they've deliberately disregard anything that I've had to say. So they've actually provoked a reaction from me on this day here. I ended up raising my voice, and a very nice lady came out. She was a operation manager. She was very nice. She calmed the situation. But I was upset because that guy, Easton, I knew he had no intention of helping me. I just knew it. And I ended up raising my voice because, they're lying to me. They're telling me different things. It's not my job to tell them what to do. They should have already read. But this is why you have one case officer. But this is what they're putting me through. They're personally tormenting me, personally victimizing me, causing me unnecessary stress. So I ended up raising my voice because I was so upset. And then he said I had to put in a review. He was going to decline it. And after doing everything they told me to do. And then I raised my voice because I was upset. And then the case officer, her name was Sarah Point. She came and calmed the situation. She handled it pretty good. And but at this point of time, I was ready to burst into tears because I was so upset. They, because I knew they were going to do that. Because they're inciting, okay? But that's very bad. So, I did hear from her, and so we're just going to go with it today, and just go with it. It's just that I know it's a personal thing. They are declining things deliberately because it's a hate alliance. It's opposing allies. So it's definitely a black market or blacklisted. And they're inciting too. Okay, guys, so this is a real life case of what they're doing to me. But this is so personal. If these are all the things that they've done to me as a victim. Okay, I mean, even dogs and animals, cats gets treated better than what they've done to me. It's illegal. So I'm denouncing what they're doing, and I'm exposing it too. And yes, after the fact, I can prove that there's definitely been a home invasion in my private life, in Mina Crichton's real private life, okay? There's clear evidence of home invasion. There's clear evidence of people using me for relationship scams. There's clear evidence of people stealing my intellectual property. There's clear evidence of people stealing anything monetary. And that's why I'm denouncing Natalie and her ex and her imposter boyfriend, because they're not going to get anything, because we're going to fight this out eventually in the legal system. Okay, here is a video clip.
Hannah Rafferty might be close.
All right, it's quite clear that everything about me is going through the government, like a city council decision kind of a thing. I didn't really click onto this until a few years ago. I started realizing that they coded me. Okay, a lot of things just took a while for me to, just didn't make sense. But it's because this new age system, instead of a single judge, or, everything's already biased or prejudice, obviously, because I work for the government, but it's because they are used, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's because everything about me is going before the government, like a property. Okay, and then the coding is in the clothing, it's in the colouring coding, but it's linked to all these women they've used me for. That's really serious. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to move a motion with...
I'll stop it right there, okay? See this background, watch the background. Some of the video clips I've denounced, and I've actually brought, surface, and just so everyone can be in on a game. But it is a conspiracy. It's wrong. I mean, these people may have their beliefs, okay? The Maoris may have their beliefs. The Tongans may have their beliefs. The Fijians, the Cook Islands, whatever nationality you are, you may have your beliefs. But that's got nothing to do with me, okay? It's got nothing to do with me and my rights as a New Zealand citizen. And obviously people are naturally biased and prejudiced, and they have turned me, my whole life, into a game, into an illegal Commonwealth game, global one too, okay? See this tissue here, or this sign here, it's all part of inciting. It is illegal to incite, all right? And it's consistent with the stalking when I go out. It's so unsafe, and it's so illegal. So all these women, it's a cultural one too, okay? For somehow the Asians are all in there. That's such an unfair... that's just so unfair. These countries that represent these women, they're supporting these women like an illegal Commonwealth. These are ganging up on vulnerable, innocent civilians. And then think you can make free money by cheating, by using the misuse of devices, by coding. That's really serious. Really, really serious. If anything, they've just set each other up. So keep in mind, guys, a defendant is the offender. And in my case, the Crown is the offender. Very serious case. So we're dealing also with unlawful strikes. So everyone within my case can all be made accountable, because even I'm entitled to justice, whether you like it or not. Okay, and as far as my love life's concerned, I don't need anyone's permission if I want to go and marry somebody, if I want to go and do something that's against whatever your belief is. Okay, that's my point. Your belief is not my belief. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you don't have to follow me. You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch any of my video clips. You can just stay right away from my space. I'm not in your space, okay? In my love life, I do not need anyone's permission, all right? But all I am proving really is all those women can be charged for conspiracy. Like literally, I'm not joking. Okay, so for spiritually speaking, we're up against this kind of a spirit. Okay, so I'm a Christian. My belief is my belief. I'm still a Christian. I'm not accountable to anyone. I'm accountable to God for my journey. Okay, my personal journey. I didn't realize in the beginning that everything about what I've gone through has been a global thing. An illegal Commonwealth game, an illegal hostile taking or hostile takeover of somebody's personal and private territory. All right, so my case is definitely serious violent offences. All right, guys, so this is what serious violent offences means. Okay, why don't you try and see what it's like to be treated invisible? And, knowing everyone knows who you are, I mean, I just don't feel there's nothing safe about it. You do feel very exploited. But that, and not only that, I'm fighting for my liberty. I'm fighting for my property rights. And anything to do with me as far as tax, as far as a New Zealand citizen, the money that I'm entitled to as far as work and income, or go on anything to do with monetary wise as far as tax is concerned, that's legally my right as a New Zealand citizen. Okay, I don't like with what I've gone through. People have actually used me for tax evasion. But it is 7 years imprisonment if it can be proven. But my case is, unfortunately, to do with body corporates. Is not just individual anymore, but there's sufficient evidence to charge all body corporates involving what they've done to me. But I just want to thank God and thank for those that have actually watched over me. I do sense God moving, even though it's been a slow process. So just, there are just ways God just lets me know he's with me, even though things have been so horrific is the word. Okay, so we're dealing with heinous hate crimes. Okay, people see me as some kind of a threat or a property, but I'm still a human being, and I will fight this or stand against it as long as God gives me air to breathe. But everything, my situation is being made difficult because of my court cases. So it's been kind of really soul destroying, but I'm not the type of person to wallow in self-pity. But I'm still human, and it has been inhumane, and I won't give up. And I know that in time, God will make everything right for me, and also to help others also and be aware of what I've gone through. It is so serious. Words cannot actually describe the inhumane, your persecution, the betrayal, and also, just being let down by the system on its own. Okay, guys, I better let you go. I didn't mean to go too long with this clip. I will update you at the moment, but I also want to say thank you for your prayers, because I do feel them. I do sense God is still with me, even though the situation has not been good. But this is my journey for myself. And so I'll just finish it there, and I will keep on updating everyone for obvious reasons.